Let's keep you abreast with happenings in the polity.
I am an employer of the president. I pay the president's salary. I pay the bills of his family, and he must protect me.
All the resources available in this country has to come together at this time to see how best we can move forward. The interest of Nigeria is paramount.
Standpoint.
Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics.
Standpoint, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on Rapid 96.5 FM.
No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. That's right.
I never knew that Agoyan Baba is a man of many talents until this morning that I listened to where he was talking about bet cutting. Of course, those who do that, they understand better what Agoya was trying to say there. A very good morning to you and welcome to Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics. Today, Monday, the 22nd day of January 2024. My name is Moses Ben.
Joy Nurture is my name. Ben, how are you?
I'm fine. How did you spend your weekend?
It was well spent anyway. It was well spent.
All through my weekend, I was around the office, so you know what that could tell.
Around the office, I didn't see you.
I didn't see you. I was about to ask you, where were you that I didn't see you over the weekend?
All through the weekend, I was here. Ben, where were you?
We came around, myself and every other person, to do one or two things. It's interesting. This morning, I was going through something online, and then I met where the Guinea-Bissau's head coach talking about Bassirou Kante expressing unwavering determination for victory against Nigeria in the ongoing 2023 African Cup of Nations. Just to remind you, Nigeria will be logging heads with Guinea-Bissau later this evening just to ensure that they see themselves skate through in as much as the AFCON 2023 is concerned. But Joy, this is a big one to Nigeria. Looking at the Super Eagles, saying that we will deal with you people and all of that. No hard feelings in a way. Looking at the first game of Nigeria, we considered first before we tried to equalize. Then the second leg, the pressure was on us. We were oppressed by Cote d'Ivoire, whether we like it or not. That's my own submission in the way this morning. I don't know what they will be coming up with this morning, this evening later at AFCON 2023.
Okay, we're actually looking at them making us proud once again. Just like they said, they're not taking them for granted. And we wish them the very best as they prepare for that match.
All right, we have our in-house analyst this morning joining us. You are back. I don't know where you went to, but we're happy to have you back this morning. Talking about Incorruptible Sam. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Yeah, good morning to you, Ben Moses.
How have you been?
It hasn't been that sweet. I've been off the microphone. You know, someone that's obviously, this is part of our life, you know. For some days off the microphone, it wasn't that sweet anyway, but good to know that the voice is back. Yeah, I lost my voice, that's it.
All right, thank you for joining us this morning.
Definitely.
A lot of things have happened talking about development within the state and Nigeria at large. So we'll be touching on all these things from time to time. Meanwhile, our center of focus this morning on Standpoint would be on the recent development in the government of Alex Oti of Abia State. If you have been following issues and stories in the state, you would agree with us that the governor constituted an advisory council talking about the Abia State Global Economic Council, and also the modular refinery of a thing came up as well. So all this will be addressed this morning on Standpoint. We'll be having the special advisor on media and publicity, Ferdinand Ekwama, joining us later this morning, just in few seconds, to take us through these developments so far in the government of Dr. Alex Oti. But let us go down to Abuja, because the senator representing the FCT, talking about Senator Ireti Kingibe, says the Senate will summon the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, that's Nyesom Wike, and security agencies over the spike in crimes in the nation's capital. He submitted yesterday, I was following that interview, that she had raised this issue initially, but yet they didn't give it attention until it started coming up this way. Joy, I don't think that this is time for blame games to come in. If the security agencies are up to do their job, they should face it head on. Trying to point at Wike, you left your responsibility in the FCT, you went down to Port Harcourt playing politics of structure and what have you. Let us not forget also that the president met with service chiefs because of this issue and all of that. But I'm trying to say this morning that it is not time we should give attention to blame game.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. He talked about this sometime last week when I was saying at least this particular one now would direct Wike's attention to something that is more vital other than playing whatever he's playing, whatever politics is playing in Rivers State. Well, it is not necessary at this point to blame anyone. Rather, all hands should be on deck so as to secure the seat of power. That's the Federal Capital Territory, because what is going on there is actually uncalled for, and it needs serious attention.
All right, we have joining us this morning because we had to ensure that we squeeze his time. We understand that the state executive, of course, is attending its council meeting this morning, but he has joined us virtually talking about the special advisor to the governor on media and publicity, Mr. Ferdinand Ekoma. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, Moses, and good morning, Joy. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Mr. Ferdinand. Welcome to the program.
How have you been, sir? Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Good to hear from you, too. Very fine.
All right. Fine. We'll kick off the program quickly because I understand your schedule this morning. Let me start from, I had monitored the governor's speech on the day of his reaffirmation as the governor of Abia State, where I dragged few things from what he said. And he said that we want to restore the dignity of the Abia man. We want any time Abia is mentioned that people will say good things about us. That is the reason why we are here. Anytime we are building roads, anytime we are retrofitting schools and hospitals, we want our state to reckon positively in the Committee of States in Nigeria. And then he went further to say that I must state clearly, I wonder who the governor was afraid of, because he said that I must state clearly that everyone, including my opponents, the ones that were in the courts with me, to say, now that the battle is over, you should sheath your swords. I invite you to come with every idea you have. Let us sit down and discuss, because the most important thing is Abia State. And anybody that has anything to contribute to the positive development of Abia State is welcome, irrespective of your political leaning, irrespective of your ethnic leaning, irrespective of your religious leaning. We are one and the same people, and from now on, division will not be allowed in Abia State. So we are now in one boat, and this is boat, or this boat rather, is large enough to accommodate everybody. Mr. Ferdinand, coming out from this expression, the governor was reaffirmed, and then we know that anything opposition at the court has stopped also, and then we are facing governance. The governor came up with a lot of promises for the people of Abia State. Do you think that this statement still holds what he started with why he assumed office as the governor of Abia State?
Of course, Moses, of course. As far as we are concerned, the governor is here to serve in Abia, or we're all here to serve in Abia. That you've won a case in court does not mean you go to sleep and abandon governance. If anything, this is actually when we're going to get energized the more to render the desired services to the good people of Abia State. Our challenges are very enormous, and time flies. This is January. The next 4 months, the governor will be marking his 1 year in office as governor. So that is why we are in a very hurry. We are in a hurry to ensure that we meet the expectations and surpass even the expectations of the people, whether in education, whether in health, whether in security, infrastructure, agriculture, and all the rest of them. We are putting the necessary energy and resources to ensure that Abia is turned around. our state, whether we like it or not, is in a very shambolic state. The state was in a state of, deterioration in many areas. And that is why we are taking these things, confronting these things, these challenges head on to ensure that our people begin to heave a sigh of relief. And we are happy and very excited that our people are seeing the job being done. They're seeing what is on ground. They're seeing the tempo with which the governor is confronting these problems. And the people are very appreciative of it. So what the governor has just said, the litigations are over. Of course, we were never perturbed, and I have always said this. But then you are human beings. It's natural, like I said, when you saw our opponents sponsoring all kinds of things in the media, press conferences were held where they accused the governor of being the one using public funds to finance P2B's litigation in courts. That was a very weighty allegation. And the essence of that allegation was to incite the president and the presidency against the governor, all because of the case that was in courts. They also accused us, they did a press conference in Abuja and accused us of sponsoring IPOB. It was also to incite the federal government against us and incite some persons, some people from other parts of the country against the government. So with the litigations over, we know that these people are now going to rest. You understand? But in the real sense of it, we weren't perturbed because that was an election that was won convincingly. And we were never afraid that they could do it. No. Yes, they never anchored their strength on the facts laid before the court, but what they could do to ensure that there was miscarriage of justice. And of course, we were vigilant also to monitor their activities and also with the contacts and everything we had to ensure that nobody was given the opportunity to steal a mandate unanimously given to the governor. But now that the whole thing is over, we are not going to behave like conquerors. We are not going to say we are the victors, the other people are the vanquished. No. You humble yourself. You see this as an opportunity to serve the people and serve them to the fullest. And that is what we are committed to doing.
Okay, quite amazing, and we congratulate the state governor on his victory at the court. And you made mention of some areas where you are actually putting in more effort to see that the lives of Abians get better. And in the news this morning, we actually heard something that this is a very wrong time to fall sick in Nigeria due to high cost of drugs. And now, this 14-day medical mission in Abia begins today. Can you, give us procedures?
I didn't get you clearly. I didn't get you clearly.
All right. In the first place, I said we congratulate the state governor for his victory at the court. Now, I said in the news this morning, it was said that this is a very wrong time to fall sick in Nigeria due to high cost of drugs. And today, the 14-day medical mission begins in Abia. Can you tell us the procedure involved in the program?
Okay, it's what the government is doing in collaboration with some diaspora people and the Ministry of Health. It's all about attending to the medical needs of our people, to the health needs of our people. Everybody knows the economic challenges confronting the country at this point in time. There are people with all kinds of medical challenges, but who do not have the resources to take care of themselves. So the medical mission affords them the opportunity, to meet with the medical personnel that will be coming to, assess them and find out what their challenges are and be able to provide the necessary solution by providing drugs to them. And of course, the state government is fully involved, is, committed to collaborating with all groups. Of course, the government has been doing it through the monthly, medical outreach that was initiated and done in the 3 senatorial districts between June last year and December. And of course, this year, the government will also come up with that. So it is just to cater for the medical needs of our people. Health is wealth. And that is why the government is spending a lot of resources in the health sector to ensure that we upgrade our hospitals, we renovate and retrofit our hospitals and get all those hospitals equipped so that someone in, for example, in Ohafia will not have any need to be coming to FMC to access the necessary medical care. And that is why the government wants to build and renovate general hospitals across the 3 senatorial districts of Abia State.
Okay, are there procedures to that?
Well, it's something I will discuss with the Commissioner for Health and others to find out the procedures with which they are, implementing this. But I will update you people and update the public in the next 24 hours so people understand the procedures.
Right.
Okay, sorry, Ben. Let's look at infrastructural development now. On the news this morning, said work on 2 major roads in Aba will commence soon. Let's get to know more about that and how far orders have gone. There are other roads that the governor is working on in Aba. Let's know how far he has gone on that and the 2 major ones that will commence soon.
Okay, you would agree with me that last year a few road projects have been executed, completed, and commissioned by the governor. And now there are ongoing road projects. You have cemetery, the first phase of cemetery had been commissioned and they're starting work again. They're starting work in the second phase. Omoma Road is on top gear. The contractors are doing a great job there. Green Avenue, that one is almost completed. Then the most strategic, Port Harcourt Road. Initially when that road project was awarded, all kinds of things were heard. Some people said the cost of the project was high. Some were questioning if it was actually Julius Berger. At the point, the opposition on social media were analyzing the construction equipment, the trucks, and whether it's Julius Berger, this and all the rest of them. First and foremost, they forgot that this is a 6-lane road project. They were saying 5.7. We said no, it's not 5.7 kilometers. It's actually 6.8 kilometers because the road will be taken all the way to Asa Road. So it's not actually starting at number. They are starting at number 1 Port Harcourt Road, quite alright. But that is not where they are going to. By the time they are done, the other side they will move to the other part of Asa Road and take it there to where it should be, and that is what makes it 6.8. And again, like I said, it's a 8-kilometer road. It's a 6-lane road, and anybody who knows the standard of Julius Berger will know that Julius Berger, most times the roads they do is usually 20, 30 kilometers. So that is why they weren't even enthusiastic about doing that road. Some persons may not believe this, but they can make the inquiries on how Julius Berger operates. And Julius Berger, anybody who wants to do anything stupid will not look in the direction of Julius Berger. You look for a mushroom construction company. So that was, in fact, at the point when I spoke with the commissioner for work, the man told me we were lucky. Julius Berger was actually insisting on 36 billion. The man said if we had delayed for 2 weeks before signing that contract, Julius Berger would not have accepted to do that job again at that cost. And this is the truth, and people can investigate this. Now, I am excited because if you've seen the pictures coming out of that place, if you see the kind of tunnel for flood these people are doing, that it's not a joke. The pictures are there. And those who were attacking and criticizing are gradually closing them up because they are seeing the difference. So when we said that Julius Berger was going to do a fantastic job, when we said that Julius Berger has the capacity to give us what we knew what we were saying, and people can now see what is on ground. And I agree with us that it wasn't, after all, a wrong decision taken by the government to hire Julius Berger to do that robbery. So they're doing a great job there. Then on the other roads, the governor said that we're going to start. Some of the roads, the 2 major roads are in question now, Obohia and the Cemetery Road. You understand? These are also, in fact, they are in the category of Port Harcourt Road, especially on Hanko. When you look at the population of people living at Ohanko axis, because when you hear Ohanko, it's not just Ohanko Road. The Ihoji, the is it Akole, you see the Ogechi, those interior and all the rest of them. So it's hell for the people living there. The population there is just massive. They are like people in an isolation, and it shouldn't be for whatever reason. So it's going to be a signature project that the state government is going to execute. So it's actually one of the roads that they've not been awarded. So the governor will still communicate so when these road projects will be awarded, and to the construction companies that are going to be awarded to. So that's the situation at this point.
All right, another interesting development since his reaffirmation as the governor of Abia State is the inauguration of the Abia Global Economic Advisory Council. It came somewhere last week, Ferdinand. What does this mean to the people of Abia State and Abia State as a whole?
It means that Abia has become not just a local, a national, but a global player. We are dealing with people who we believe have the capacity, have the knowledge, or have the experience, have the network of contacts to collaborate with us and support us develop our state. The governor is one individual. Yes, he has commissioners, he has advisors, he has special assistants and special assistants, and individuals in charge of different agencies. But then there's no limit to knowledge, there's no limit to ideas, there's no limit to contacts. So the assemblage of such eggheads who are accomplished in their different fields is because of the governor's desire to ensure we harness the best for the development of our state. Like I said, if you look at the people in that advisory council, they are people accomplished in different fields. They are not coming here to draw money. Nobody's going to pay them. Rather, they're actually bringing their contacts, their knowledge, their ideas, their experiences to the table to support the government succeed. And because the governor had dealt with some of these people, he knows what they can do, what they can bring to the table. So, it's a fantastic development for us because we want to turn our state around, and in turning your state around, you just need to lay hand on anything or anyone you believe can assist you get to your destination. So we were all happy that the governor thought it wise to go into such collaboration, to have such a powerful advisory council that will bring ideas that will help us develop our state. So we're very happy about it.
Right. Another development is the issue of Abia First Modular Refinery. According to the Commissioner for Petroleum, that is Professor Joel Ogbonna, I believe that's the commissioner, he said that it wants to open up Abia State and all of that. Number of persons received that as a cheering development and news in Abia State by the government of Dr. Alex Otti. Looking at numerous things that go in as much as this sector is concerned. He said by 2025 it will become operational. How realistic is this? Take us through again, because one would say, okay, it would affect the economy of the state clearly. But the date here is an area of concern to a number of us.
Okay, well, I think you are saying that it's too early, that 2025 is too early anyway. We need to challenge ourselves. When, let me give you an example, when the road contract awarded to Julius Berger, the Port Harcourt road was awarded to, the agreement there assigned was 18 months. At the 18 months is a year and 6 months. Because of the pressure the governor has brought to bear, and because of the construction company that is involved, from the information we are getting, the road is likely to be completed this year and commissioned. Because the governor told them point blank, please, this is a very important road. This is a road that, will help our people heave a sigh of relief because the people have suffered over the years. So the modular refinery is not only a project that is coming out there at Owaza. There are a whole lot of investors that are showing interest. But because of the governor's understanding of its strategic economic importance, and we have global players or people in the oil sector who are showing interest, pressure measures are being put to ensure that anything that will help this project come to fruition is done from the angle of the government, because it's a PPP arrangement, the public-private partnership arrangement that will see the state have a share there. But the most important thing is the whole thing is private sector driven, and that is how it's done. So the responsibility of the government, of course, you know what it is. The government will provide the land. The government will create the enabling environment. And when you talk about the enabling environment, if you look at Okwa, many parts of Okwa do not have access roads. And when we talk about the place Owaza, it's not just at Owaza. This is beyond Owaza, because there are other things that are being cited beyond Owaza, if you look at the boundary. And again, it will impact the economy of the entire Okwa, Eastern Okwa, entire Okwa, very positively. So what the governor has decided to do is to ensure that the infrastructure of that area is given a first lift. I mean, upgraded. The road to Owaza is going to be built. There is already an ongoing discussion between the governor, the Honorable Commissioner for Power and Public Utilities, Engineer Ikechukwu Monday, and other stakeholders to ensure that the necessary mechanism is put in place for the restoration of power, effective and constant power supply at that area. Because there is absolutely nothing you can do in the area of industrialization without power. And that's the challenge we have. So then security, of course, you have provided water and all the rest of them. So a whole lot of things are being done. Because if you just go and clear a place and tell investors to come and invest, and they've not seen the seriousness from the side of the government to develop the environment, you've not created an enabling environment, of course, you may end up making the whole thing become an elephant project. So we are desirous of turning the place around. We are desirous of meeting the targets that has been set. I wanted to say white elephant project. I said elephant project, please. So we are doing everything humanly possible to ensure that the vision is actualized, and it's not an impossibility. The most important thing is show commitment, show dedication, show sincerity, show seriousness, do your own. All the people that want to invest want to see that you are sincere, that you are serious, that you are committed. The private sector people are looking for where to invest and make money and make profits. And that place is an ideal place for that. So a whole lot of things are going to happen there. We are expanding development. That one is a different thing. Don't forget that the governor also has a plan for the other medical village. That one is in another part of the state. So we are expanding the frontiers of development across the 17 local governments of our state.
All right, before I hand over to my colleague, talking about sincerity when it comes to policy statements and action, I can remember Ferdinand clearly. The mantra, one of it that the governor came up with, that is to clear anything that has to do with salary arrears in the state and pension. He gave a date. I'm sorry, but Abians, there are persons also in the state who still use this as another wicked point. Let me make use of that expression against the government, who said that on or before 31st of December 2023, it would have handled the issue of salary arrears and pensions. But it didn't happen. The governor came up in his last broadcast and then cleared this issue. But we don't know when and how this will be resolved, because this is 2024 already.
Okay, when the governor gave his New Year broadcast and talked about that issue, he gave a timeline. He said the first quarter, and the first quarter is at the end of March. That's the first quarter, right? So we are very sincere about this. And the most important thing is the sincerity of a government. Anybody can face hitches. The governor gave clear explanations, and if you ask NUP, Nigerian Union of Pensioners, they will tell you the truth, because they were kept in the know. That channel of communication was there. In fact, let me explain. I talked about this a few days ago. When the necessary verification and everything for the clearing of these pension arrears was concluded, we finished one of our ESCO meetings, and the Honorable Commissioner for Information and my humble self, we had to address the press. And now, because that payment was supposed to start, I think, on the 18th of December, that was when that payment of that pension arrears was supposed to start. We were at the Chief of Staff's conference to address the press, when a message came from the SSG that we should step down that issue of pension. We were shocked, because everything had been concluded, and it was for the payment to commence the next 2 days or thereabouts, which was 18th. Only for that message to come in. So we became confused, and we had to step down that subject matter. It was later that we now heard, because after the verification exercise and everything, the total money that was going to be paid arrived at 19 billion. Now, only for us to now inquire later, it was discovered that thousands of people were wrongly omitted from the local governments, 17 local governments. And that was why the whole thing was stepped down. So, the gathering of statistics and data and everything, the money came to now 39 point something billion, almost 40 billion. And in fact, it was God that just saved us. Because if you paid that 18 point something billion, almost 19 billion, and you exclude some persons, some persons would think this is fraud. It would look as if you intentionally want to, because by the time some people would have received and others would not receive, people will be like, what is happening? You have paid Peter to rob up Paul or whatever. So we were happy. Yes, we were happy that that discovery was made. And of course, at that point in time, nobody, because that money that was supposed to be paid had already been provided for and set aside. So when this thing happened, everybody was disorganized. So it was better we do the right thing than do the wrong thing and just to impress some persons. This is not a government that believes in unnecessary razzmatazz, dramatizing sensitive issues. Now, the pension arrears are going to be cleared. But don't forget that we have a budget, the 2024 budget. And the money you were going to pay, you understand, this 40 billion, don't forget that's December, well, the money was not there and was not even captured in the budget. Was not even captured in the budget, and you can't spend outside the budget. So, just like the governor has promised, the resources are being gathered so that you clear this thing and they will be off your neck. The governor does not want to be associated with the issue of salary, pension, and all the rest of them. And his argument has always been, just like when he was campaigning, that you need to put money in the hands of the people to ignite that economic activities, to create the required prosperity amongst the populace. So, by the time this money would have been paid, one, the people will be happy. Lives would have been saved. People will now have money to invest in themselves, to take care of their needs. They will spend the money in the economy. And above all, the governor is, with every sense of modesty, is too big to be associated with non-payment of salaries. Because whether anybody likes it or not, if you don't pay it, when you sit in the committee of governors and other stakeholders, and Abia will be mentioned as a state where pensioners were being owed 30 months, 20 months, and all the rest of them. Nobody will care to know whether that liabilities were incurred by the governor or not. The most important thing is that he is the governor and his state is owed. So this is an embarrassment that the governor does not want to be associated with. And let me also say this with every sense of responsibility, that we've not solved all the problems, and we are not claiming to have solved all these problems. There are people that have one issue or the other. For example, just this morning, one of the people involved in the verification exercise, there were some names I gave to her, from teachers, some teachers who said they've not been paid their December salary. And don't forget that even when that verification exercise had not been completed, and when we knew that some suspected that some people might not be genuine, they were still being paid because government didn't want to shortchange anyone until the whole thing is completed. So she got back to me this morning, just a few minutes ago, we talked. She was saying these people are investigating this. There were some people who started their verification but did not conclude. There are some other issues, but the most important thing, these things are going to be resolved in the next few days. Just a few days ago, some other staff from, I think, Osisioma, mainly Osisioma, also came out to complain. They came to government house. Their names were collected, and those problems are being resolved. So there are people that have issues that cannot even be solved until you make yourself available. There are people who have issues not as a result of their own problem, but as a result of the system. You understand? We have people in the different local government, account heads, the treasurers, and people who are not even ready to collaborate with their staff and support them to solve their problems. But it's okay. It is natural. When people feel they do not have the opportunity to do what they were doing in the past to sabotage the system, they will naturally feel aggrieved and not want to cooperate to ensure that problems are solved. The reason why people are in charge in different local governments and all the rest of them is to help their workers, to help their staff, bring whatever problems they have to the attention of the government at the state level. But when they do not want to do it, the most important thing is that we are determined to solve all these problems, and we are not going to abandon the workers. So if anyone has a problem, nobody should think that this government is going to abandon them or that their salaries, if there are whether a month or two that have been omitted, have it at the back of your mind that those money must be paid, and that is the position of the government. So the pension arrears for the end of the third quarter, as stated by the governor, will be taken care of.
All right.
Sorry, first quarter, please, not third quarter.
Okay,
quarter,
because I want to say, do you want people to keep crying? Thank you for the clarity. All right.
All right, quite amazing, Mr. Ferdinand. You are determined to, solve these problems. You had earlier mentioned sincerity, dedication, as well as our commitment as regards to the current government. But then let's look at illegal activities of touts in the state. Is alarming now. The way they harass
illegal activities. Sorry. Illegal activities of
touts.
Okay.
Yes, in the states, the way they harass a motorist and all that. So how do you intend to address, this particular issue?
Okay, on assumption of office, a release was issued. I was the one that signed that release on behalf of the governor, based on his instruction. And we stopped everything collection of illegal fees. In fact, initially there was a kind of tax holiday for KK and bus operators and commercial vehicle operators because people were not paying. We stopped it until the government did the needful, reformed the system, created a platform for electronic payments. Now, when the government agreed with the tricycle operators and the rest of them on the modus of method of payment, there was no room for anything like loading fees. It was abolished, it was stopped, and people have been happy several months. But in the last few days, we started hearing all kinds of reports of touts coming out to harass people. Initially, of course, we've gathered this report from different dimensions. Some persons, just before the Supreme Court judgment, thought who in their own imaginary world, we had even gotten aprons and all the rest of them that were going to be removed. They will come back to collect what they were collecting. In fact, it was more pronounced in Aba. So started harassing people. Some other ones are equally some people who claim to be working for the government who were also harassing people in the name of loading fees and all the rest of them. So, but the governor, when it was brought to the attention, because I personally forwarded the whole calls and all messages to the governor got very angry. And in my presence, instructed the special advisor to the governor on security to swing into action and ensure that anybody caught is arrested and tried and punished. The governor also made it clear, said it emphatically in the presence of his appointees, that any appointee found to have collaborated to extort the people or is collaborating to extort the people, indulge in all kinds of extortion, that the person will be fired. That was the position of the governor. He will sack the person. So, and we are not joking about this. The nuisance that the Agberos were causing in the past was just enormous, and we cannot tolerate it. When we talk about ease of doing business, it includes creating the enabling environment. And you say you have created that ease of doing business by allowing touts to harass people here and there. They used to remove plate numbers, deflate tires, and all kinds of things. But those things have become a thing of the past. So this extortion in the name of loading fees, of course, the process has started, and we've said it. Nobody should complain. Nobody should say, I'm being illegally detained or tried by the government. If you are caught, you will bear the consequences. And as long as these people are not using police to harass you, you also have a right, the KK people as a union also have a right to resist them. But the government will not want you to endanger your life. The government is going to give you the necessary support to get rid of these hoodlums because they are not working for the government. Government has already established an agreement with KK operators. You pay electronically, and there is a certain amount of money you are expected to pay on a daily basis or weekly basis, as the case may be. But the issue of loading fee, it's illegal. It does not exist. So you can't stop a KK man and say he has a carried passenger, he should give you 20 naira. That is illegal. It is unacceptable. And the government is going to clamp down on them. But it's important that now the government is talking, people should pay attention and listen so that nobody will say the government is overreacting. So it's important. We are not giving room for that, and nobody is going to tolerate extortion of any kind from Agberos. It's also important, let me say this, there are people that are legitimate revenue agents who have been, authorized to check payments, to monitor the activities of petroleum operators, to also check whether people have paid or not. So when you pay, what they need to do is to stop you and you show them evidence that you paid, you keep moving. But the issue of collecting money, collecting cash of any kind is illegal, it's unacceptable.
All right, we understand how tight your schedule is this morning. But before we let you go and then take up our analysis from our studio this morning, the governor initiated cleansing exercise somewhere at Lokpanta. We can say for sure that there is a relative peace we've been observing down there at Lokpanta. But was that last week also talking about a tunnel used by the criminal there that will post another impression altogether? So let me ask, the fight against criminality, kidnappings, and other crimes activities at Lokpanta, is the government still very hard on the fight?
Okay, I shared the picture of the tunnel. So that alone is a confirmation that we remain committed to getting rid of the kidnappers who were terrorizing our people. The tunnel you saw, the picture I shared, well, that wasn't how it was. It was covered, by bushes. Nobody knew there was a tunnel there. Because the government struck the terrorists, because they are terrorists, they were killing our people, they were kidnapping people, they were maiming and destroying businesses, lives and business, economic activities of all kinds. But because the governor has the political will, on assumption of office, he set up that Joint Security Task Force, Operation Crush, and which to a great extent has crushed the criminals. If you ask a lot of people who come from Umunochi, they will testify that this Christmas was one of the best in recent times. People came back and nobody was kidnapped. People were not being intimidated or harassed. That is how it should be. And the governor is intensifying effort. The fencing of the Lokpanta market has already started. It's not in the place, it's a very massive place. You see how the place is located, almost in the bush. So the government has, of course, the government made it clear. We were going to say, if there were resistance, left, right, and center. But because the people finally realized that the government is sincere, is honest, is committed to doing the right thing, it is not a sectional thing, it's not a religious thing. We are not against people from any section of the country. But first, lives of our people must be protected. Life of every citizen or resident or visitor must be protected. Because if these guys were allowed, it was just a matter of time before they would overrun the market and overrun the people living there. So measures were put in place to get rid of them, and the results are being seen by everyone. Now, the tunnel in question was discovered by security agents. We used bulldozers to clear the place, completely. They were using the tunnel as entry and exit point for collection of ransom. They will collect ransom and use that to disappear. Or sometimes they would drop out the victim through the tunnel, and you could see it. So when we were saying these guys built a kind of powerful structure, kidnapping structure, people weren't understanding. Some people were trying to play politics with it. But because the governor has a political will and understands that the essence of governance will be lost if the security of life and property is not guaranteed. In fact, the governor told me personally, he said, how can I be talking about bringing investors? And some people want to make mess of it by turning the place to, heaven for kidnappers. So we are happy that the thing is we are intensifying it. There's no retreat. If anything, the kidnappers and the other criminal elements who are making life miserable for our people have been gotten rid of, and will completely clear the place of the mess, and peace will be restored. And by the time the market would have been fenced, and the profiling that the government agreed with the traders will start, and before you come there, you are coming to do one thing or the other. There will be no room for any kidnapper or criminal of any kind to come there and hide in the name of a trader. Meanwhile, you are committing atrocities against our people.
Right. The special advisor to the governor of Abia State on media and publicity, Ferdinand Hekoma, I want to say thank you so much for your time on Standard this morning by carrying out clarity on the recent developments in the government of Dr. Alex Otti.
Thank you, Moses, and thank you, Joy.
All right, we'll be keeping in touch with you to keep us updated with the developments in the state.
Nice day.
Thank you.
All right. Sam, you listen clearly to the special advisor to the governor
Definitely.
on media and publicity.
Yeah.
What would be your impression, given what he has reeled out this morning to Habians?
Definitely, he's a good talker. I wish I had the opportunity to at least remind him where we, met the last time. I do not one-on-one. He knows what he's doing when it comes to analyzing issues, and he has actually done justice to some of the things he said. These are the things I also personally asked him some questions, and especially the law Panther axis. That place was the den.
For sure.
That
Despite the
place-
fact that most of us were not
goodness.
affected, but
Yes.
if you had stood from a distance to monitor what was happening
Yes,
within that area.
That place was something else. At some point, I remember, when we were going to Enugu from my former radio station, and I asked them, please, where is this law banter? We'll get there. You people should tell me. Let me close my eyes. It was so difficult. It was so serious. The scary, situation. Unfortunately, some governors, some previous administrations, they actually pay attention. But good to know that, this government has actually paid attention. Discovering a tunnel. That means I don't know what the plan was. Maybe they wanted to make it a place where the kidnapping will be till thy kingdom come, as we say. But good thing that they have actually been revealed. Then another thing he said, I think Joy asked him some questions, and he talked about what is happening in Aba. I think most especially Umuahia is somehow calm. I don't know if the extortion is happening here, but in Aba it happens more when it comes to these touts. They are everywhere. You see them. I've witnessed in many occasions a tout dragging the steering with a driver.
Just because to collect that small amount of money.
And that was a truck now. It landed them into somewhere. I think someone died. The truck went off the main road and I think killed someone in Aba. And I've also seen one of the touts being beaten, half dead. One Oyibo, they call him Oyibo. And the guy, at the end of the day, they will still tell him, you will die one day. Oh. You see, in next 2 days, he'll come out. And as if he was actually, maybe he was just one for him to, I don't know what happened to him.
the job. He's dedicated
so
to
good to know that this the governor right now has actually looked at, and he said something. Please, let's pay attention. Abians. He said these ones are not working for the government. They have the ones working for the government. These ones are not collecting money. The ones working for the government, they don't collect money cash. They just want to check if you have paid. So let us not continue to make it look good, because I have seen people also react. No, the governor said that he has ended this, but these people are still there. How can you tell us that they are not working for you and all the rest? The Ferdinand Ekoma has made it clear to say that these ones are not working for something. Not if they ask you to pay, you just pay. You're dashing them the money, just like what you accuse the police guys of doing. Roger. Or guy, if you have your papers, everything complete, you can't tell a policeman you're not giving any money. And the highest, the only thing that you just spend some minutes and they will call you, stubborn man, and all the rest, you go. Then, when you talked about, I wanted to ask him if the governor had anything in mind of celebrating 1 year in office, because he said that, 4 months from now, they will be celebrating 1 year. There's one thing politicians do. I don't know who taught us that. 100 days in office. I don't know if the governor will want to celebrate 1 year in office. It will not be bad.
We'll get to know about that.
It will not be
when
bad
the time comes.
if he does that. But I hope he's not under pressure. It's good to set a target actually for yourself. But I think I'll prefer, as an Abian, I'll prefer us going one step at a time, slowly, than setting a target within 1 year. And once you are done with the 1 year, the rest 3 years will become jamboree.
All right, let's bring in our listener at this point. 091603333965, 01960000965. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name and location, please. All right, you can do well to read out the number. You're welcome.
Very full morning. Ben Moses.
Good morning,
Joy
sir.
and Sam in the studio.
Elijah, then one.
Welcome.
Don't piss you guys for the calling from Doro Brony one.
All right, don't guess. You're welcome.
Hello?
You're
We
welcome.
can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. We can hear you.
All right, network is playing a smartphone on us this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Moses.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm Okafor Chile, I'm coming from Omai.
All right, Okafor.
Okay. Let me see. I think we cannot separate governance from the economy. There is no how we can separate governance from the economy. The governor so far has tried so much to ensure that we have a robust economy. I think all we need this time is to support him and to give him every necessary support to deliver on his campaign promises. Considering all his plans at Rwanda, to get on where he intends to build the economic cluster and the people he has gathered, the economic advisors he has gathered, these are reputable people. All we need to do is to wish them well.
All right.
And look at the caliber of these people he has gathered. These are people who can attract foreign investors. These are people who have made names across the globe. So I want to urge them, whatever they can bring to the table, to ensure that Abia becomes just like a state like Lagos. Let them do it.
All right, thank you, Okafor.
Whatever they can do to open up the economy of Abia State, let them do it.
All right.
It is all about Abians. It is all about good governance, so that we can enjoy every evidence of democracy.
Thank you so much, Okafor. All right.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Ben.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Chijoke from Benjerud.
All right, Chijoke.
Mr. Ferdinand has said it all about the vision of the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Chioma Oti. He's a man I know very well, and I know he always stands on his words. Concerning pensioners, Mr. Ferdinand have said it the way it is. Abia State, the present government in Abia State does not come on radio to tell you lies that we have paid everybody, unlike the past administration. What Governor Alex Oti said is that his government cannot come and lie against the people. That people has the right to come on radio to tell us, like pensioners, that the governor has cleared everything. Teachers have to come on radio to say by themselves, not governor or government officials. So what I'm saying is this: Governor Alex Oti means well, very well for Abians.
All right.
And he's getting it right.
All right.
For past 7 months now, if I'm not lying, Abians have started to witness what we call a true democratic leadership. We have never seen it like this before for past 24 years.
Thank you so much
so
for your
I am saying that Governor Alex Oti is moving in the right direction, and we have to support him. We should not allow opposition or whoever to distract him or to distract our mind. Let us continue to support him. At the end of at least 1 year, we are going to see a massive infrastructure in Abia State. And we will not talk about the issue of payment of salaries.
All right, we appreciate your contribution.
Issue.
Thank you
I think by then, all those things will be having settled. So let us continue to support Alex Oti. He's not a drunkard. He's not a womanizer.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. On our Facebook page, we have Stephen Ugochukwu. Good morning, brilliant journalist. Please, Honorable, local government workers have backlog of unpaid wages, but all the government is concentrating only on pension arrears. Other workers are owed backlog of salaries. That was from Stephen Ugochukwu. Elvis, good morning. Reputable, sensational, and powerful journalist in the studio. I urge the governor to focus on delivering dividends of democracy to well-meaning and patriotic Abians. We have suffered a lot in the hands of visionless and unpatriotic leaders. I see, in the past, God gave us Dr. Alex Oti to wipe away the tears of Abians. God bless all. All right, thank you. Ikechukwu Sterling, congratulations on Dr. Alex Oti's victory at the Supreme Court. It is a welcome development from the Supreme Court. Congratulations to Abians. Gentlemen, this morning, work on 2 major routes is commendable. I believe the previous ones are already speaking. You're welcome to the program. Good morning. All right, we lost that call. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, Moses.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Hello? My God. Hello?
Yep. Okay, I'm sorry about that. That was the network. Gentlemen would not have to cross the line. We have news light at 10 o'clock. I want to say a very big thank you to the special advisor to the governor on media and publicity. We had him virtually this morning, Ferdinand Ekoma, who carried out clarity on the recent developments in the state government. Sam, Incorruptible Sam, thank you for your time.
Thank you so
Town
much.
App this morning.
Ben, thank you.
All right, remember that Standpoint runs from Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Tomorrow will be a different side of it with interesting side of conversation. My name is Moses Ben.
And my name is Joy Nochiri.
All right, let us continue the conversation on our Facebook page, Rapid 96.5 FM. Up next is the news light at 10 o'clock. Good morning.